In a world where every girl dreams of being claimed by a powerful mate, I'm the exception. My name is Elara, and on the eve of my 18th birthday, the night of the claiming ceremony, I couldn't bear the thought of being a prize, a possession. So I fled deep into the whispering woods, a place feared by my pack, a place no one dared to enter. My heart hammered against my ribs with every step, the sounds of the forest amplifying my fear. But the fear of the unknown was far less terrifying than the certainty of a life I did and choose. I stumbled upon an old abandoned cabin, a relic from a forgotten time. It was dilapidated, covered in moss and ivy, but to me, it was a sanctuary. This is where I would hide. This is where I would be free. As days turned into weeks, I learned to survive. I foraged for berries, fished in the nearby stream, and patched up the cabin as best I could. The solitude was a balm to my soul. I wasn't just a werewolf anymore. I was Alara, a girl who could mend a leaky roof and identify edible mushrooms. I felt a sense of pride I'd never known, but loneliness was a constant companion. At night, I'd stare at the moon, wondering about the family I left behind, about the pack that was probably searching for me. Did they miss me, or were they just angry that I had defied tradition? Sometimes, a haunting howl would echo through the woods, a painful reminder of the world I had abandoned and the mate I had rejected. One stormy afternoon, a loud crash echoed from outside. My first instinct was to hide, to melt into the shadows of the cabin. Peeking through a crack in the door, I saw him, a massive wolf. His fur, the color of midnight, lay injured near the edge of the clearing. He was larger than any wolf I had ever seen, and an aura of immense power radiated from him, even in his weakened state. My training screamed at me to stay away, that he was a rogue, a danger, but the sight of his labored breathing, a deep gash on his flank, stirred something within me. I couldn't just leave him there to die. Taking a deep breath, I grabbed my small kit of herbs and bandages and stepped out into the rain. Approaching him was the most terrifying thing I'd ever done. He growled, a low guttural sound that vibrated through the ground, his golden eyes locking onto mine with a mixture of pain and warning. I moved slowly, speaking in a soft, soothing voice, telling him I meant no harm. I showed him my empty hands, then the herbs. It felt like an eternity, but eventually the tension in his body eased just a fraction. Carefully, I cleaned the wound and applied a poultice. He flinched, but didn't lash out. As I worked, an unfamiliar scent filled the air, pine winter frost, and something uniquely him. It was intoxicating, and a strange feeling, a pull, resonated deep within my soul. I knew with a sinking certainty what this meant. The moon goddess had a cruel sense of humor. He healed quickly under my care. In his wolf form, he was a silent, watchful presence. He'd follow me as I foraged, a giant shadow guarding my back. We developed a silent language of gestures and shared glances. I found myself talking to him, pouring out my fears and dreams into his patient, furry ears. I told him about the claiming ceremony, about my desperate need for freedom. He would just listen, his golden eyes filled with an understanding that transcended words. I started to forget my fear of him. In fact, I started to feel safer with him around than I ever did back in my pack. The loneliness that had plagued me began to fade, replaced by a comfortable companionship. I was falling for a wolf, and I didn't even know his name. One morning, I awoke to find a man sitting by the dying embers of my fire instead of the wolf. He was tall and powerfully built, with the same piercing golden eyes and midnight black hair that fell across his brow. My heart stopped. He was impossibly handsome, and the same powerful aura I'd felt from the wolf now emanated from him in waves. "Turan," he said, his voice a low, smooth rumble that sent shivers down my spine. I couldn't speak, I could only stare. This was him. The man and the wolf were one. "My name is Kale," he continued, his gaze intense. "I am the alpha of the Shadow Moon Pack, and you, Alara, are my mate." The words I had run so far to escape were finally spoken, not in a crowded hall, but in the intimacy of my hidden sanctuary. Panic and anger warred within me. I rejected the claiming. I retorted, my voice shaking. "I don't want a mate. I don't want to be claimed." Kale's expression didn't change. He wasn't angry, just sad. "I know," he said softly. "I felt your rejection that night. It nearly broke me. I didn't come to claim you, Elara. I came to find you. When you ran, my pack thought you were a traitor. They wanted you hunted. I came to protect you." His words stunned me into silence. He hadn't hunted me to drag me back. He had tracked me to keep me safe. He had respected my choice, even when it caused him pain. He explained that our bond was different, stronger than most, and that he had felt my fear and desperation as if they were his own. He didn't force me to do anything. Kale stayed, but he kept his distance, giving me space. He helped me reinforce the cabin, hunted for us, and shared stories of his pack, not as an alpha bragging, but as a man sharing his life. He showed me a different kind of strength, one of patience, respect, and quiet support. He wasn't the domineering alpha I had imagined my mate to be. He was kind. He was gentle, and he saw me, the real me, not just a mate to be possessed. He loved the girl who could survive in the woods, the girl who defied tradition. The pull of the bond was undeniable, but it was the man himself I was falling for. My fear of being claimed was slowly being replaced by a desire to choose. My past, however, wasn't done with me. One evening, a group of wolves from my old pack found the cabin. They were led by Fenris, the warrior who had expected to claim me. His face was a mask of fury. "Traitor," he snarled, seeing me standing beside Kale. "You ran away with a rogue." Kale stepped in front of me, his body instantly shifting into his massive wall form, a protective wall between me and them. "She is under my protection," he growled, the sound echoing with pure alpha authority at Fenris, and his wolves were intimidated, but their pride wouldn't let them back down. A fight was inevitable. I knew Kale was powerful, but he was outnumbered. I couldn't just stand by and watch him get hurt for me. As Fenris lunged, I did something I never thought I would. I embraced the bond, our bond. I let the power that connected us flow through me, and I shifted. My wolf was sleek and silver, and as I stood beside Kale, a wave of energy erupted from us, Fenris, and his warriors were thrown back, not by a physical blow, but by the sheer force of our united bond. They stared in shock and awe. They had never seen power like this. Fenris, defeated, lowered his head in submission, not just to Kale, but to me. In that moment, I wasn't just Elara, the runaway. I was Luna of the Shadow Moon Pack, not by force, but by choice and by a power they couldn't deny. I had found my freedom not by running from my destiny, but by running toward the right one. My home wasn't a place, it was a person. It was Kale, and together we were about to change the world. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more stories.